He healed the sick, saw visions, and even casted out demons, but no amount of anointing could hide the evils that this man was trying to cover. A certain man of God, or should I say man of the rod, is trending for the crimes that he committed against God and humanity. But what's even crazy is the fact that it took 6 years for his trial to be completed. Pastor Chidiebere Okoroafor was a man of God, or so he claimed. He had a thriving ministry in Oyigbo, Rivers State, that is the southeastern part of Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. He was the general overseer of Altar of Solutions and Healing Assembly. That name sounds very nice. Now, many people who sought for miracles and quick fixes to their troubles flocked to him due to what they've heard and even seen in the lives of others. Now, to his members, this man could do no wrong. And here we have Oluoma, a young beautiful lady who was said to love to sing and worship God with her voice. Soon enough, she joined the Altar of Solution and Healing Assembly, where Pastor Chidiebere was the general overseer. In no time, she caught the attention of the pastor, probably for the prospects that he had seen in her. Pastor Chidiebere decided to make her the leader of the choir mistress. However, Oluoma soon discovered that the pastor had other interests in her, ones that would be actually very intimate. According to sources, he began making sexual advances towards her, to which she objected and, had to talk about how it was bad in the sight of God and men that she would do this. These words of caution are not one to shaking a man who understood the Bible and had his way with words. He quickly cleared her doubts by saying there is no sin where grace exists. Now, according to him, the grace of God never recognizes any sin. To the flocks, when the shepherd speaks, he speaks the truth. This is the stupidity of many. And although they had a Bible, what's the need studying and getting discernment when their pastor could simply handle it for them? Oluoma stupidly believed her man of God. After all, he was a God to both her and many others. To crown it all, whilst they continued their escapades, miracles were still happening. He was still healing the sick, casting out demons, and even seeing visions for many members of their church. This was enough to keep her leaving the pastor, but I'm sure that somewhere at the back of her mind, she knew the truth. Now they continued their affair, and then sometime in 2017, Oluoma reached out to the pastor to inform him that she was pregnant. This obviously startled Pastor Chidiebere, who encouraged and advised her that they should abort the baby, seeing the damage it could possibly cause him as a great man of God. But she wouldn't listen. She said that this is something she doesn't want to try. Oluoma informed him that aside the fact that she doesn't want to do it, she's been having bad dreams where she died. According to her, she feels she might die if she went on with the abortion. And now this ended up putting the both of them at loggerhead. Then when Pastor Chidiebere saw that she wouldn't change her stance, he thought to himself, it is time for this girl to meet her maker. And so he plotted what he was going to do next. Pastor Chidiebere then decided to call Oluoma to come over to his place for a meeting of reconciliation. He probably pretended and made her feel like, they might settle this in a good way. She might keep the baby, and maybe probably she would have to lie that it was someone else and stop being the choir mistress for some time until after she had given birth. One way or the other, he made her feel it was okay to come over, so they settled. But there was something suspicious about this invitation of reconciliation. Oluoma could remember the last altercation they had, where he had allegedly threatened her and maybe hurled insults at her. So she decided that she was not going to visit the pastor alone. She begged her friend, Mrs. Chigozie Ezenwa, to accompany her to this journey of reconciliation. I actually believe that at this point, Oluoma had opened up to her friend and maybe other people, telling her friend of the sin that she had committed. Oluoma's friend, Mrs. Chigozie Ezenwa, agreed to follow her friend to go complete this journey, and alongside, she took with her her 11 to 12-month-old daughter, Christabel. Pastor Chidiebere was deeply disappointed that Oluoma wouldn't come alone. In fact, she came with 2 extra people for a simple reconciliation. Now, this was a reconciliation that he had planned to kill and dispose of her body and eradicate this threat to his ministry. On that fateful day, the 11th of December 2017, the 32-year-old Pastor Chidiebere at this point had decided that he was not ready to back down. He needed to get this clear out of the road before it would blow in his face and destroy his church. So he went on to murder Oluoma, his choir mistress, that he had gotten pregnant, her friend Mrs. Chigozie Ezenwa, and the 11-month-old daughter of Mrs. Chigozie. Now, these 4 bodies he disposed in an unstated location. Pastor Chidiebere soon forgot what the Bible said about those who were trying to cover their sins. They would surely be exposed. Soon enough, the 3 people were reported missing. That was Oluoma, her friend Chigozie, and the 11-month-old daughter Christabel. Whilst doing questioning and to find out what might have happened, Chigozie's husband, Mr. Ezenwa, then recalled that his wife had told him that she was going to see a choir mistress, her friend, who was going to visit the pastor. And that was when he alerted the police, who then, started investigations until they discovered the 3 lifeless, decomposing bodies of the victims. And then they arrested Pastor Chidiebere, and he confessed to committing the crimes in detail. Now, fast forward to 6 years later, on the 5th of June 2023, after he was charged to court, he was found guilty and the judge sentenced him to death by hanging or by poisoning. The triple murder of Oluoma, the lady he got pregnant, the choir mistress, her friend Chigozie, and the 11-month-old daughter of her friend. Although I actually believe that sentencing was for 4 people, because his choir mistress was pregnant for him, that was another body there. Either ways, if this man had not been caught, he would still have continued doing miracles and a whole lot of other things while burying bodies, because after that first one, he wasn't going to stop.